Okay, so to start with, I'm going to make a pattern on the SP404 and make a drum groove, and we'll go from there. So I despise this sequencer on here, and making a beat on here is very tedious for me. So I'm going to do it anyway because this is what I have right in front of me. I do like this as a resample machine personally, but okay, so I'm going to go record, and it's going to give me a tempo. And if I hit record again, 2, 3, 4 hi-hats, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Loose timing, 3 and 4 and see here how that sounds. It's a little stuttery, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to go with the feel. Okay, so now I need to add a kick and snare. 3, 4. Okay, so let's pattern select. Okay, so there's my drum groove, and now we're going to record that into the 4 track. Okay, so what we're going to do is plug the inputs into channels 3 and 4 from the drum machine. Make sure that we are on mic line inputs. And I know that my volumes are pretty good, so I like to keep these around 7, so I have a little bit of headroom if I need it. And so now what I'm going to do is make sure my tape is in the right spot. Flip back to tape. Make sure it's the speed control is where I need it to be. This tape is sped up just a hair. And I know when that hiss came in that's the end of the track. So now I'm going to arm these direct. We can record it a little hot if we want to. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to pause to arm ready, and you know what? Let's speed the tape up a little bit so that when it plays back at the speed I have as normal, it'll be slowed down a little bit and pitched down. So what we can do is take a test recording just to see if those levels were right, because they were responding kind of strange with the gain staging. So let's do it. Should be enough for a reading. I'm gonna rewind the tape, put those back in tape monitor, push play. All right, it was a little bit ahead. Should be around here. Recording just to see if those levels were right, because they were responding kind of strange with the gain staging. So let's do it. Should be okay, so that looks good to me. Now we're ready to record the take there. So I'm going to hit pause, record, and I'm going to turn my mic off so I don't get picked up in this take. So here we go. Made a mistake there. We're supposed to be in, I didn't switch to line mode. Whoops. It happens. Okay, and now we're going to record the drums on 2 tracks, 3 and 4 as a stereo groove. So I'm going to hit play and record. We're going to go into mic line input mode and arm these 2 tracks for recording. Just volume test, looking pretty good, and we're going to hit play and record the drums onto tracks 3 and 4 as a stereo. Okay, so now that the drums are recorded to the tape, we pitch the tape up to the normal speed, and we notice it's a little bit slower. And we have these two tracks, left and right, filled up. So I'm going to do something a little unconventional here. I'm going to stereo bounce, but I'm going to only do one channel at a time, as I'm going to put a stereo guitar on the left and right and bounce those individuals. So the stereo bounce is just going to happen the left and the right channel at a time. So it'll be pretty interesting. Okay, so I came up with a guitar part that I want to do. I'm going to do this acoustic guitar that's plugged pretty much directly into this input here, and that's going to record the left channel of the drums here along with this guitar. I did a little bit of rehearsal. It's just a simple part. That's going to go on the left speaker. I'll plug in maybe the acoustic guitar again and do it again, or maybe an electric guitar. Let's see what we feel. So let's go. I didn't like that take. Rewind and try again. And there's guitar track 1. Electric guitar it is. Let's see a little bit of playback on that. All right, I'm all right with that. So we've now successfully added drums and bass, and now we've got 2 more tracks to wipe since these were the drums. Now we can add another. Let's do one more stereo bounce, and I'm gonna conjure up a few things. Maybe is it a stereo synth? Is it a bass? Let's figure it out. Prophet 8 it is. Again. That's the one. I had this wacky idea to turn the tape over so that it's in reverse, and I'm going to play a bass part, and I'm bouncing the stereo track along with the bass part so that when the tape gets flipped over again, we'll have 2 tracks left over. This is an experiment. I'm going to mess around with the bass part and in reverse and flip it over, and we're going to see how it goes. So here's to experimentation. Okay, so we are going to flip the tape over. And now, let's find out what it sounds like. Okay, that didn't quite work, but it was worth a shot. So I think I'm pretty much going to be done with bouncing for the stereo. What I want to do now is I want to bounce with a mono track and then basically leave one mono track left open. And we'll see how that works. So I'm just going to record the bass onto track 2 and erase the stereo bounce I just did. And then I'm going to bounce something with the bass. Maybe? We'll see. Here we go with the bass. Do a quick playback and see how that works. It wasn't recorded hot enough. Let's give it another go. Okay, so I just developed the part a little further just now, and I want to get the new developed bass line down. Okay, up to this point I haven't really been illustrating the tape in a minute, so I'm just going to do a quick playback and demonstrate what we have here. So right now we've got the stereo bounce of all the tracks that we've done so far, except for the bass. And now that leaves us with one track left. And what we're going to do with this one track is I came up with this vocal part that I want to bounce with the bass. So I'm going to transfer the bass and marry it with the vocal onto track 1, leaving track 2 for a harmony or something. We're going to get pretty crazy here. So let's go ahead and perform the bass part with the vocal. I just have to think of how I'm going to connect everything in order to get that sound. I guess I'm going to have to listen to the backing track on the right ear and the bass and my vocal on the left ear for now to bounce this. Here we go. I just made a few adjustments, brightened up the bass because we're going to lose some of the high end when we're doing that, and I also, just making adjustments as we go. So here, let's do another take. Let's play that back. I think that's okay. Good enough for what we're doing. After some review, much later. That's not going to work. We're going to redo this track here, track 1, that I bounced the bass and that vocal. I'm still going to bounce the bass, but I'm going to add something else. I'm thinking I want to try adding a live performance on a drum machine, so we're going to see how that works out. Okay, I'm just going to plug this cable into the first channel, and then we're going to set some levels. Okay, I'm just going to press play on the drum machine. Okay, that level looks pretty good to me. We'll adjust it when we actually have what we're bringing in. Let's set this thing up to bounce. What are we doing? Well, we're listening to these two tracks, tracks 3 and 4, and we're going to take the bass guitar on track 2 and record that to track 1 along with the drums. So we need these to be panned hard left and arm the track for the left bus input, and then I'm going to pan these tracks to the right, and it's going to sound a bit uneven, but we're going to play with it anyway. because the drums are going to be on the backing track is going to be on the right ear, and this bass and the drums that we're adding are going to be on the left ear. So, I mean, whatever. We'll deal with it. All right, I'm going to just play the backing track on the tape and double check the levels. I think that's good. We're just going to practice along with the backing track here and see, come up with a part basically. I think we're ready for some takes. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I'm increasing the treble on the bass because we're going to lose a little bit of high end when we bounce. So let's start at the beginning of the song and do some takes. That fill sucked. Now's probably a good time to see if we got the levels right. So we're going to go into playback mode and we're going to see how this turned out. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's do another take. And you know what I'm going to do? I want to speed this tape up and then we'll play to that. Why not? Gotta pan the tracks back to their proper places and make sure all the levels are where they should be. All right, let's go. False start. I came in too early. Man, that timing is hard to play to. Okay, what the hell was that? That timing, man. We can do this. Let's hear that back. Whatever. Let's keep that. And now we've got one more track to add. So are we going to add a shaker? I've decided on a tambourine. Let's try it out. Now to connect this mic into the 4-track. Check, check. Turn that input way down. Let's try this. Okay, so once we record over the bass part, there's no going back. We're erasing the bass part that's now married with the drums on this track. So I can't separate them past this point. So it's kind of, all right, let's go. Let's add that tambourine. What happened? I should probably note what happened. I guess sometimes the sensor on this screws up and it just stops the tape. So that's what happened. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. I have my foot controller to punch in. So we're just going to rewind the tape a little and just play as we were. And, oh shit, I changed the level, didn't I? Oh well. I'm using this mic as the talk over on the recording mic, so I'm kind of bouncing between levels. Hopefully I get the level right. Here we go. Here we go. There's a lot of low end on that tambourine, and I screwed up the levels, and the second half I didn't have any reverb. I know I shouldn't worry about this kind of thing, but I just kind of want a doozy over. and record it with the EQ scooped out and a fixed level here. And we're just going to do one take, and here we go. Let's go ahead and play that back at normal speed. I think we have our tambourine take. Let's go ahead and mix the track down. We're going to do something fun on bounce down. Let's run the space echo for mix down. It's going to be pretty amazing, so let's do it. Okay, so I'm pretty confident with my levels overall. It's pretty flat across the board, and the EQ is boosted a little bit on the stereo tracks 3 and 4 because we did lose quite a bit of high end through all the bouncing, so I'm just compensating with a little high end there. I've got the tambourine panned a little bit to the right, and then our bass and drum overdubs are centered here, and the EQ is flat on there, and the tambourine, because I had the lows scooped out of the tambourine when I tracked anyway. So here's a little brief segment of how it sounds. And I think that one of the things I'm going to do with the space echo is to really send the tambourine through it often, kind of dub style, and that panning effect will be really cool. And sometimes I'm going to do it with the master backing track here, and we'll have some fun with it. So this is going to be the mix down session. This cable is going for the effects send on the back here, if I can find it. There we are. Okay, and then this cable is going to plug it into the space echo. I just got this. This thing is amazing. I should probably do a video on it. I'm going to flip it on here. Effects send is going to go from PA. And then I got another cable. That's going to be the output. All right, and that cable is going to go into the line input. Okay, now that's going to go into this input because that's basically our mono input there. So let's test this out and send a couple tracks there. That's the space echo. So I want to dial in the space echo for the timing of the song and what sounds right, and then we'll play around with the mix down. Fun, isn't it? That's pretty cool. Let's do that. right, well, that was fun. It's a little loose and it's not perfect. And what's funny is that there's a tambourine on track 2, and it could probably be more useful to have something like just the isolated bass on track 2, but when you're not planning your sessions like this, then that you get what you get. So the stereo track, I think, turned out pretty well, and the bass and drums blended well. I think it was a fun experiment. We got to try some things and fail. I mean, this is a good way to learn and go through the decision-making process. It's been fun. I mean, it's not the most perfect or best sounding song in the world, but all things considered, I think it's a fun listen, and mixing down was a lot of fun too. So, well, thanks for watching. Bye.